Shildt loves talking about the roller coasters of a baseball season. That being said, was it still surprising that you guys had this sort of rough patch that you guys did offensively almost simultaneously?
No, it's a lot of baseball. Long. People don't realize how long the season is. So hopefully we'll look back at this in August and September and be like, 6 games. You know, is what it is. You're going to go for 32 in runner scoring position. Minimize it. You know, move on. You know, sometimes you're going to get all the runs. We're going to go through streaks where we hit 500 runner scoring position. Just the way baseball works. That's why it's law of averages. And you know, obviously you want to have this skid now instead of August and September. And but it's all about bouncing back and playing really good baseball now.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Marty Time TV. I am Marty Caswell. Thank you so much for joining me today on my channel. I am solo today, so hopefully you guys will put up with me. It is going to be a bit of a shorter show. My apologies for that. It is the last day of first grade last day of school for a bunch of the kids at Crown Point Elementary. So shout out to my nephew, August, who is 7 years old, done with first grade. And I want to go and shout out the tremendous staff at Crown Point, starting with Miss Guffey and Mr. Marcel. You guys are incredible. All right, guys, listen, the last time we spoke, I had AJ Cassavell on the show, and we were talking about the Padres offense. We were talking specifically about Fernando Tatis. And I asked AJ, you know, did the conversation come up in postgame Monday night about what's going on with Fernando Tatis? Because he has not looked like the same player, right? Going into June, going into the game on yesterday, he was hitting 184, 4 home runs in 22 games, OPS, like a 271 OPS. Let's see. Yeah, 4th best OPS in the. He doesn't look like himself. The body language wasn't there. The joy wasn't there. He didn't have very, very good at bats. I'm not going to alibi it. I went and asked Mike Shildt yesterday in pregame, like, what's going on with Tatis? And have you guys thought about perhaps dropping him in the order or giving him a day off, like they did with Luis Arraez? Luis Arraez, you know, did not look like himself. The finale in Atlanta, and guys are tired right now, especially a player like Tatis who's played every single game. This is what This is what Mike Shildt had to say about the idea of dropping Fernando Tatis, one of the best players on this team, a little bit down in the lineup, just to go ahead and alleviate some of that pressure. Kind of an off day yesterday for starting a bit of a rest. Given some of Fernando's recent struggles, any thought of giving him a rest day or down in order?
Yeah, of course. Right? I mean, I talk to these guys all the time about how they feel. Part of Jeff's question is you know, if you can show up and play the game, if you're ready to go put your energies into the game, is that going to be enough, or do you need a day off? There's conversations about that. You know, the other thing is, you know, to Sam's question about Manny is 10 days ago, no one would ask that about Fernando as far as like putting him down in the lineup. You know, 6 days ago, people would ask that about Manny, and now they're asking about Manny being on pace to be an MVP player and a, you know, Hall of Famer. So I do understand the question completely, but I come from not an overreaction place, or an underreaction that's mostly served us well and knows the game's hard, and that Fernando's a generational talent, and he's contributing in other ways to our team that I see, at least defensively and in other areas, and he's taken some at-bats that haven't gone his way, and I expect him to be able to come out of it, and we work together to see what that looks like. That help you? Ish? That's my best shot. Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry about that, my audio. Okay, so that was Mike Shildt saying that he was not going to go ahead and overreact. Of course, Fernando, as I would fully expect, homers his very first at bat. Homers in his very, very first at bat, and that was part of the Padres comeback against the Marlins. So not surprising at all. Listen, Fernando has been really, really up and down. Right now, I figure like he's going through something, and we're never going to know what it is, but the Padres are at their best, when Fernando Tatis is at his best. And Mike Shildt, of course, we're going to overreact. We're going to overreact to everything, every possible slight, because, and the bullpen too, and the Padres, oh, son of a gun. Mike, of course, we're going to go ahead and overreact. That's what we do. We're the media. That's what fans do. You overreact to every single thing. And Fernando Tatis Jr., the first month, he looked like the best player in baseball, right? We're talking about MVP conversation. The month of May, he's been a shell of himself. Hopefully that home run really gets him going, because the Padres, they are at their best when they have Fernando Tatis Jr. playing like the MVP player he has shown he can be. There's a couple different storylines from that game. The Padres, of course, coming back, Stephen Kolek giving up 6 runs in that first inning and then sticking around, figuring it out. And he actually got the win, but the way the Padres were able to go ahead and fight and come back. But the thing that stuck to me, it wasn't just the fight of the Padres offense. It was Marlins rookie second baseman, Ronnie Simón, who made 4 errors in that game, and they absolutely led directly to the Padres win. I know the official score changed to 3 errors later on, but that was 4 errors. That was very interesting. I want you guys to go ahead and hear from Tatis. We're going to play a little bit of the post game from Tatis on Tuesday night. He's talking about his home run. He's talking about dealing with mental struggles, and he also talked about this young kid who was his fellow countryman from the Dominican Republic and how he felt for him. There was a very human element to that game and to that moment that I wanted to make sure that I shared with you. So this is going to be Fernando Tatis Jr. On Tuesday night, talking about his home run, his God-given ability, but also feeling empathy for this rookie player who made 4 errors. The cameras caught him in tears during the game, and he was then removed from the game from his manager and did not play in the Wednesday finale versus the Padres. This is Tatis postgame from Tuesday night.
That's how it starts, step at a time, and nobody says it's gonna be easy, so we just stay grinding and trying to find a way.
In a season of ebbs and flows, to come back from 6 runs, what does that mean for this team? How much confidence does that give you guys?
In that dugout, we went down 6 runs the first inning. All of us knew that we were going to come back one way or the other. We're just going to find a way, struggling or not. Let's just play baseball, see the game, and we just knew we were going to make it happen, and gladly we found a way. It's what happens when you have a great group of boys out there coming together. Everybody knows as individuals how good we can be, but we're even better when everybody is coming together as an entire group, playing a good baseball, aggressive baseball, and just not putting excuses out there, just finding a way,
Describe what you're able to do on that home run, the other way, like that right down the line.
Blessed by God. I looked the video, it was like how did it happen, but blessed from the men above, and definitely hard work, good help from the hitting coaches, and this whatever I've been going on so far, but it's part of the game, and man, we're gonna ride that wave.
You've had a tough week at the plate, week plus. How have you been feeling mechanically? Going into today?
Here and there. You said today or like overall?
Just going into today and just over the last week.
Just staying positive, man. Just trying to bring even more, myself of what I can do in the field, and like I said, just trying to find a way. In baseball, you never have the right answer. This game is just rough and tough, but man, God gave us the talent, and we're just gonna put the work out there.
What do you think of Steven pitching into the sixth inning after that start?
I love it. I mean, that can tell what type of guy and pitcher he really is. He saw a lot of good hit, but ground balls all over the field in the first inning. It was rough, but he settled back in and gave a good 6th inning, knowing especially how the bullpen has felt the last game, and it was huge for us.
You guys have had a recent stretch of these comeback wins dating back to Atlanta. Given the previous struggles, how rewarding the way you guys have gone to win.
That's what we play for. That's what we come over here with positive energy every single day. Body's hurting, whatever is going on, we're just putting it aside, and when we cross those lines, we're just gonna give everything we have. I was happy. We both have been grinding, and it's definitely relieving for him, for us, for everybody, and happy my boys getting back in line.
Okay, in case you missed my question, I was asking Tatis what he thought about Jackson Merrill's bat flip. Jackson Merrill did a Tatis-esque bat flip on his home run, so that was cool to see. All right, here we go.
Who? Yeah.
What did you say? He hasn't done like he had tonight with the 4 errors. I think they made it for him. Just like what goes through your
It happens. It's baseball. I know everybody that has won a Gold Glove or Platinum Glove had one of those nights. So I definitely know he's a great player. He has won MVP from Winter League over there in the Dominican, and I'm seeing him play really good baseball, and I have no doubt he's going to be a great baseball player.
Thank you.
How long have you guys known?
MVP. We saw each other in the field and say hi and check in.
Maybe this one was match, right? Maybe just mental, like when Eric snowballs. Like
Yeah.
you were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. How mental can this game be?
It's definitely mental. Obviously, there was part of the game where it gets rough when you're running to one side, trying to catch a ball, going to the other side. It's just baseball, and it's a really hard game. But he's definitely gonna figure it out, and like I said, he's gonna ball out.
Okay, so that was Fernando Tatis. I had asked him, I'm sorry about the muffled audio, and of course there was like a drill or something or a vacuum in the background, but I just asked him what he thought about Ronnie Simone making those 4 errors, the 4 errors in that game, and then being removed. And he just talked about he had empathy for him, and that it's a tough game. And he's right. I mean, ask Tatis. It is a tough game. Ask Manny Machado, who made a cost. He was charged with an error, who's made 3 errors in a game just this last week. Ask Juan Soto, who just signed a $765 million contract and is off to the worst start of his career, hitting I think 224 with 8 home runs and already getting booed by the fans at Citi Field. So it is a tough game, but that was really, really cool. And I do want to follow up on this story because the reporters on Wednesday went to the Marlins pregame clubhouse to talk to Simone just about the errors and the reaction that he's gotten from players, from his fellow colleagues. And I think he cited 3 Padres in particular. You're going to hear it here, but he mentioned Tatis, who he knows, right? Who you just heard from with Fernando. He mentioned Manny Machado. He mentioned Luis Ariz. He mentioned Robinson Cano. He mentioned, former Marlins great player Luis Castillo. There's a lot of players from the baseball community that reached out to this 25-year-old rookie to go ahead and tell him to keep his head up. That was really, really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit from Ronnie Simone talking to reporters about the outpouring of support he got from his baseball colleagues.
Tatis, I know Ariz, but I never talked to some guys. So yesterday when something happened over there, the reaction over there and everything just test me in the night. Machado, Tatis, Ariz, Robinson Cano, he called me too. A lot of guys, everybody gonna text me. I don't respond because I was a little bit emotional in my room. So, but I have a lot of messages in my phone too, and just the only thing I say thank you for everybody, because you wanna support me. I love everybody who wanna text me. I know he's hurt right now, so thank you.
Machado just last week had 3 errors in 1 inning in Toronto, and he's obviously a pretty good defender. Does that kind of put in perspective for you, like how tough this game can be?
I don't know. I don't know like that one. So then yesterday, some people he told me Machado he make it 3 errors in the last week, and I know he's the best defender in the third base right now. So the only thing what I got for like that one is just the best third baseman what I see. So if he made like 3 errors, just I going to be working hard, but that's what not happen again. That's only what I can do.
Okay, so that was Ronnie Simone talking about hearing the Padre players, including Manny Machado, who, by the way, he mentioned the 3 errors he made in 1 game in Toronto, but he was also charged with an error on a very, very difficult grounder on Wednesday that led to 2 unearned runs that were charged, I believe, to Jason Adam, or was it Ronnie Peralta, or one of each. I actually wanted to ask Manny Machado about reaching out to Simone, but after that loss, and after the error, I don't think he was in any mood to talk. So perhaps we'll do that Friday, or perhaps we'll just move on to something different. I'll tell you this: when it comes to Friday, the number one thing that I want to know about is what's going on with Michael King. Michael King, who slept on his shoulder wrong and then was put on IL with shoulder inflammation. Mike Shildt, just no clarity at all. None of us saw Michael King in the clubhouse pre or post the entire series, so not sure what's going on. Your pitching matchup for this weekend versus the Pirates: Nick Pivetta, Dylan Cease, Randy Vasquez, and hopefully they can give you innings, because this Padres bullpen, as Mike Shildt said, they're taxed, man. He used the word attrition when talking about some of his bullpen decisions. There are certain guys that were not available. So hopefully this off day does the Padres well. Hopefully does all of you well. Enjoy what's going to be a glorious weekend. I know the Aztec fans are happy because Miles Bird is returning to San Diego State. So anyways, enjoy your weekend. And again, congratulations to all of you that have kids and your kids made it through whatever grade they're in. And thank you for watching. If you missed any of our shows this week, AJ Casavell, let's see who else, Darnay Tripp, and any of the interviews from inside the Padres Clubhouse, you can find them all here on Marty Time TV. Whether it's Fernando Tatis, whether Jackson Merrill, who was great, Gavin Sheets, who has been, man, I feel like every single year, AJ Preller has this remarkable signing. And this year it happens to be Gavin Sheets, who is showing that he can be the real deal. And by the way, said on Wednesday, he's getting a lot more comfortable in left field. Again, we are 1/3 of the way through the season. I will ask you guys this, and hopefully you can message me later on. If you're AJ Preller, what's the biggest need come trade deadline? Is it shoring up who your everyday left fielder is going to be? Listen, Gavin Sheets can fill their spot, but he's better at DH. Or is it going to be your starting pitching? Uncertainty with Michael King. I have no idea what's happening with you, Darvish. I know he's playing aggressive catch, so we'll see what happens. But hopefully Friday brings y'all some good news. Have a great weekend. I will catch you on Monday. They're playing the San Francisco Giants. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. Once again, we're brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Thanks all.
That's you're talking way too much, bro. I try to keep it simple. If I do that, buddy, I'm going to slump real quick. Just keep it simple. See ball, hit ball, man. This is as easy as you can make it.